In this episode, we're going to be talking about the energy of your performing career and the 4 types of thoughts that are contributing to that energy. You ready? Let's do it. Hello, you are listening to the Love Your Life as a Performer podcast. I'm Kelly Youngman, and I am the life coach for performers. I help actors, singers, and dancers love themselves and their lives way more. So keep listening to learn how you can love your life both on and off the stage. Hello, and welcome back to episode 64 of the Love Your Life as a Performer podcast. I want to do a little catch up because I feel like so much has happened since we last connected. I have been just living in delight and bliss and also going through a lot of emotions, which, hello, welcome to being human, right? I feel like, well, one, if you aren't following me on Instagram, make sure to follow me, Kelly Youngman Wellness. I have been sharing a lot of sort of behind the scenes and my own experiences with disappointment and auditions and loving auditions and still being available to all the things, which eventually will make its way onto the podcast as its own full episode. And yeah, to just keep up with me in real time, make sure you're tuning into my Instagram. The other thing that I want to add is I have just been loving the season change and being in New York and feeling the crisp air. I'm just so delighted. The other thing that I'm always just feeling so grateful for is my partner and my life and my own badass decision to commit to curating and cultivating the life experience that I truly want to be having. And it just is so available to all of us. And so I hope you are excited. I hope you're feeling the energy of this year and knowing that like the year is far from over, especially as we're heading into the holiday season. There's so much magic swirling in the air and in the universe, and you get to tap into it and harness the magic that is you. I'm sitting at my desk and I am just looking at, again, the most gorgeous skyline of New York City, the most amazing city that I love. I am looking at the most beautiful pink roses that I have on my desk from my partner. And I'm just thrilled to be speaking to all of you today and hopefully inviting in a little bit of a lift and an energizing feeling for your Wednesday. What else? I think that's all I have to say about updates as of right now. And let's just jump into today's episode. I have been on a really big kick, if you haven't noticed, about auditions and loving auditions and allowing auditions to be a portal to your self-trust, authenticity, and love. If you were unable to join us live for the training, don't even worry. You can go to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/love auditions and see the free 60-minute training there and get access to pre and post audition worksheets that will walk you through my simple 5-step process. Did I mention it's free? If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. I've really been fired up because, again, we have access to everything that we want to be and experience in our careers. And it starts with us. It starts with our thinking. And so today, I want to talk about the energy of your career and what it's feeling like. Is it feeling like a soggy, wet blanket? Or is it feeling like a hot air balloon floating through gorgeous skies, right? Like, what is it feeling like? And I want you to just do a little check-in. Something that I talked about on the class, which I'm bringing to the podcast today, spoiler alert, is that there are only 4 types of thoughts that contribute and create the energy of your career. That's it. 4 types of thoughts. There's thoughts about you, thoughts about your career, thoughts about auditions, and thoughts about the industry. That's it, right? And those thoughts are creating the energy of your career. And this is super important because I want to remind you that we are energy. Everything in this universe is energy, and energy is neither created nor destroyed. It exists, it's transferred, it's here for us to activate and engage with and to utilize, right? That is what makes or breaks the momentum of someone's career is the energy that they're in, right? We all know what it feels like to feel like ass. And it's not good, bad, right, or wrong because we can feel all of our emotions. But when we get in a mood, when we get in an energy about our career, again, it only comes down to 4 types of thoughts. How magical is this? Thoughts about you, thoughts about your career, thoughts about auditions, and thoughts about the industry. When these thoughts are going against the grain, when they're not in support of the thing you want to create, your career is going to feel heavy. It's going to feel stagnant, right? If you're believing, I'm not talented, or I'm talented, but I never book the job, or I always make it to final callbacks, but I'm never the one who gets it, right? If you're thinking, what else? If you're thinking, auditions are a waste of time. I'm sick of showing up for auditions. I don't want to audition anymore. I don't want to have to go in for the same show multiple times, right? Like if we're thinking thoughts that go against the experience we want to have, it feels weighted, right? You can feel it. It's like that feeling of like, ugh, why am I even bothering, right? And so that's when the energy of your career feels like a backpack full of rocks. You're like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't know if I can take it. Dear God, give me the strength to go on, right? And again, it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. I think there's going to be moments in all of our careers where we might feel a little bit like that, but we get to decide how long we carry around the heavy backpack, right? And so when your thoughts are in support of your career, right? We've all had access to this feeling before. And usually we allow it to be a little conditional, right? So we book the job, we're working on Broadway, and that's when we're like, fuck yeah, I'm talented. Fuck yeah, it's amazing to be a performer. My career is at its peak. I'm doing the thing I love to do. Like, I love getting auditions now because I get to pick and choose what I'm going to. I have the freedom to decide what projects I want to take because I know I have a job and I'm on Broadway and I can say no to things, right? Or you're like, yes, like the industry feels magical. I'm like so honored to get to do what I love. Again, those thoughts are when we feel like we're like flying on a magic carpet ride. And here's the amazing thing. The energy of our career creates the experience of momentum. And even though we sometimes allow ourselves to more naturally fall into those ways of thinking based on employment status, it actually doesn't have to be dependent on conditions, right? You can think all of the juiciest, most delicious thoughts about being an actor, singer, or dancer right here, right now. And if you were to think thoughts that align with the result you want to create, thoughts that are in service and support of your goals, guess what? The energy of your career is going to shift, right? And again, the reason why this is so important is because I really need you to hear me. The universe does not respond to effort. It responds to energy because like attracts like. The frequency of who you're being on a day-to-day basis matters because that's what is informing what comes next, right? Like this is quantum physics, and this is quite literally how the universe responds. We have to be on the same frequency and energetic output that we want to be receiving. I've talked about this and I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like the idea of setting a radio to a certain station and then being able to receive that station, right? You turn on Z100 and you hear the top hits, right? If you want to hear blues, you got to go to that station. You can't expect to receive something that's on a different frequency. And even though our bodies look solid, we are quite literally made of matter and energy. We are energy, all put together into one human body, right? It's energy. And so when the energy of your career is womp womp, guess what? The energy of your career is going to stay womp womp because it's really hard. You might get lucky. Maybe something comes through because what's meant for you will never pass you by. But it's like it creates the least favorable, least desirable, least enjoyable experience of your career. And if you're having a not so great experience of your career, I guarantee you that the rest of your life is feeling a little womp womp. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And when we have the filter or the lens of things are not working, our brain is going to utilize that confirmation bias and go find all the other things that are not working, right? And so when we're being conscious of this, we can add to the energy of our careers to make them feel lighter and to allow them to be full of momentum, full of joy, full of love, full of excitement. And guess what? When we're in that energy, we create more, we align more. We're in the energy to receive exactly what we want. And I think the last thing I want to add is that, again, the way we feel is going to impact what we do, but also how we do it, right? So if we want to be creating new results in our career and we're taking action, going to all the classes, talking to all the people, but if the energy is still womp, like we're not going to create the result. And then we're going to get more frustrated that we're not creating the result. And again, that's just going to create this cycle, this loop of like, my career is not working. Regardless of what you are experiencing now, the easiest way, the simplest way to shift your energy and your focus and your career results is to be conscious of your thinking, to look at the energy that you are actively creating. Because whether you're aware of it or not, you are creating it. We always are creating our life experience. So again, as a reminder, there are 4 types of thoughts creating the energy of your career. Thoughts about you, thoughts about your career, thoughts about auditions, and thoughts about the industry. And so a really simple exercise you can do is you can just check in with your body. When you think about your career right now today, how does it feel? Does it feel exciting and joyful and magical or not? And then write down all of your thoughts. Do a brain dump and just see what's in there. Be willing to look at the shit. And then be willing to love yourself anyways. Because you might not be so delighted by what you find. But again, I tell all my clients, when you're willing to look at the shit, that's where all the gold is. Because then you have the awareness and you have the ability to make a change, right? And so you want to be conscious and aware of the energy of your career before you go out and do things, right? We're not looking for perfection. And just imagine that this gets to be the fuel for your career. The energy of your career is the fuel. And so listen, there has never been a better time to join us inside of the Performers Plan. We just did this whole workshop on how to love auditions. We have the worksheets, the pre and post audition worksheets to help you out. inside of our community, you get to plug into the momentum. I want you to imagine that if you had something to activate the energy of your career every single day, you could be rolling around in fun. You could be surrounding yourself with people who are actively creating the energy of their careers, right? People that are not just being on default about it, but that are actively tracking how their auditions are going and how present they were, how joyful they were, how authentic they were, right? You could be in community with other performers like you and plugging into this on a regular basis. Imagine the impact and the momentum and the speed at which you'll be creating when this is your experience, right? This is what we do inside of the Performers Plan. We meet every other week for a live coaching call. You get coached up and you look at your thoughts and you learn how to consciously choose and change them. You look at how you can start experiencing a different mood of your career, and it can happen quickly, right? It happens quick. Once you realize, and I'm sure you already have a sense of where you're getting stuck, but if your brain is looking for the evidence, which is what it does as a human brain, you're going to get bogged down. It's just like, it's not you. It's not a you problem. It's not a me problem. It's just, that's what human brains are designed to do, to keep us where we are. And inside of the Performers Plan, you get all of the tools to actively engage with your career and to create an energy of your career that feels delish. And so again, there's never been a better time to join us. You can go to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/the Performers Plan. And if you have questions, if you're like, I think this could be for me, I want this to be for me, I just need a little bit of guidance to understand whether or not this is going to be a good fit, not a problem. Book a launch call. Book your launch call and let's co-create your unique strategy for your career right here, right now. Go to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/launch to book that call today. Don't wait. The energy of your career can be so different right here, right now, and it is waiting for you. So if you're ready to be in community where the energy of your career is at the forefront so that it can be so delish now and you can be a magnet for the opportunities you want, come join us. It's what we're already doing and you can be a part of it too. All right, I will meet you back here for another episode. Hey, I want to invite you to get started because if this is blowing your mind, imagine the impact of when we actually work together. If you're committed to loving your life as an actor, singer, or dancer, come join us inside of the Performers Plan. You get lifetime access to the program, the community, and high-quality coaching for the rest of your career. Go to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/the Performers Plan to join us now. I'll see you inside.